And we're live. Welcome back for another deadline stream, everyone. How are we all today? Hope you're all keeping well. Thank you all for being here already. A bit earlier today. I'm going out for a Christmas meal this afternoon with my friends, and there's quite a lot of us going. There's about 20 people going, so I didn't want to be that guy to say, can we actually do another time, because I've got to stream the FPL deadline. So I thought, rather than not stream at all, let's go for an early morning stream. So I'll be done about 11 o'clock, so we've got about an hour and a half, and then you're free to go to whatever stream you'd like to. I saw a message from Dan Gould. He says, I like this. It means I can watch Focal and Raptor's stream today without having to flick between the two. So yeah, when I finish, yeah, you can go over to Raptor or Harry. I recommend going to their stream after here. But I appreciate you all being here. I wasn't sure if anyone would show up for such an early stream when the deadline's later, but more chill stream today, so welcome everyone. Get your questions in the chat. Christmas jumper time. You know what? I should have put one on. Maybe I'll put a Christmas jumper on a bit nearer Christmas. How about that? I've got a few in the cupboard waiting to be worn, so I haven't dug those out yet this year. How we doing, Edzo? Morning. Morning, Nat Dewan. Welcome to the stream. Random YouTube user, Ms. Harlan, JRE Factual, D Trader, John Tilley, Kieran Kaiser, Kushagra, BTPP, and everyone else that's here. Good to have you all here. Welcome to the stream. So I've made a couple of transfers actually. I did it last night just to be on the safe side, because a couple of players were close to going up in price and I would have been priced out. So I've actually sold Vardiol for Colwell, and then I've sold Cunha for Isak. Now obviously that one could backfire, because Cunha's got a nice fixture, and he's blanked the last 2 or 3 games, but music's too loud. Let me turn it down. Apologies. Is that better? I always get the volume wrong on the music. It seems to be a thing every week. Hopefully that's better. Steven says, let's go baby, 100-point week coming. You know what? Have you seen the goal projections for this week? Obviously there's some unreal fixtures. Chelsea home to Brentford, Arsenal home to Everton, Liverpool home to Fulham. What else is there? I mean, you never know. Wolves could put a few past Ipswich, Newcastle home to Leicester. So many good fixtures this week, so I think it's going to be a high-scoring game week. I'm not sure if I got the graphic from Rob T FPL, but it showed the projected goals by fixture, and there was like 5 games over 2 projected goals. I don't think that's happened all season. So, I mean, FPL finds new ways to humble you, and it'll probably be a low-scoring game week now I've said that, but on paper, it should be a good game week ahead of us. It should be a good game week, and I'm glad to have Palmer, Saka, Salah, and Isak, because I think there's going to be plenty of goals between those games anyway. Yeah, the decision really was to just roll for a couple more weeks and keep Vardiol, or to buy Trent, or to buy Isak. And the problem with City is they've got Ake out, they've got Stones out, Akanji out. And Lewis is suspended as well, obviously, so that probably means we're going to see Vardiol playing in centre-back rather than left-back, where he's much better as an FPL asset. So I thought I may as well just cut my losses here. Like, they've got Man United, they could concede, then they've got Villa, and then the fixtures are nice. So I just thought, okay, I've narrowed it down to selling him. So do I go Trent or do I go Isak? And I ultimately landed on Isak, because I think on paper, he's got more upside the next couple of games. And then I can still buy Trent in game week, game week 18. So I might do that. I might buy Trent in game week 18, or I might just delay it even further than that. The problem is, the only way I can afford Trent is by selling Bowen. So if I was going to do an 18, I'd have to sell Bowen before Southampton. So I'm a bit on the fence about that. Like, I could go Bowen to Iwobi. I quite like Iwobi, but I'd miss Southampton next week. And then I just bench Iwobi, and I think he's got Chelsea, and I'd start Semenyo and buy Trent for Porro. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, but we'll see. But Isak is in. Alisson or Raya long term? I think Raya. I mean, I would say they're probably dead even, but Alisson's injury record just worries me a bit. I think he's a great pick though, but he's quite injury prone for a keeper, isn't he? Like, he's done his hamstring quite a few times in the last couple of years. But if that's him done injury-wise for the rest of the season, he's going to be an unbelievable pick for 5.4 mil. But I'd say Rye if I was picking between the two. I mean, is anyone planning to use the assistant manager in the potential double game week 24? Some rumours coming out that it's been penciled in for game week 24, so that would be a double game week of Leicester and Liverpool for Everton, and Liverpool's double game week would be Bournemouth away, Everton away. Jay Saunders says, morning, bench 1, Wood, Semenyo, Mitoma and Cunha. It's between Mitoma and Semenyo, I would say, and I'm really reluctant to bench Semenyo myself this week, so I would actually say Mitoma out of those 4. Quite close, that one, but I'd say I'd bench Mitoma. Jim says bench 8 Nori or Estupinian. He's 103k overall. He's going to captain Salah with the Fulham injury news, and he says I think it will be slightly differential. I'm actually not sure. Who do you guys think is going to be more captain this week, Palmer or Salah? Like, obviously Palmer 18 points last week. Salah didn't have a game, so that could be at the back of people's heads. I mean, Chelsea got the slightly better fixture, Brentford, but yes, as you say, like Fulham have got Bassi out, Anderson out, so it'll be Diop, and I'm not sure who the other centre back will be. Cuenca. Seems like a lot of people are going Salah. Let's actually stick an early captain poll up, and then I'll get back to that question. Who is your captain? So we'll go Salah, Palmer. Who would be the third one? Saka and other. Man of the match performance for Saka in the Champions League. Home to Everton. We tend to do well against Everton, especially home. So bench 8 Nori or Estupinian. I think I'd probably bench Estupinian. He's not as attacking in the Hurzeler system as he was under De Zerbi, whereas 8 Nori still is. So I would go 8 Nori and bench Estupinian. Get your votes on the captain poll. Is Isak essential? Not essential. I wouldn't say anyone's essential, but he's a very good pick. Like, Wilson's out for a couple of months, so that takes us to what, mid-February. And it's this run as well from Game Week 21. Like, if you don't get him now, you could still get him for Ipswich, or you just wait till 21 and get him here. Wolves home, Bournemouth home, Southampton away, Fulham home. And Wilson will still be out then, so it's a nice long-term run of games. Bertman says he's got 2 free transfers and a strong team except defence. Only 0.3 mil. He's got Pinnock to Colwell, or worth saving another transfer. If you have to start Pinnock, that's definitely worth it for me. Like, Chelsea have got great fixtures for like, what, 7 game weeks? You could realistically start Colwell in all of those. I would say that's worth it. Brentford's defence is just not it. I think they just kept 1 clean sheet, haven't they? How are we doing, Flandy? Frederick says bench 2 out of Hall, Colwell, Rogers, Enzo and Visser. Bench 2. I'd bench Rogers and Visser, I would say. Rogers and Visser. Oivin says, good morning. Bench Enzo, Bruno, João Pedro or Evan Nilsson. Have a great time with friends. Bench... The thing is, like, Bruno's away at Man City, and that would ordinarily be an easy one, but City are just... They've got so many players out, they're conceding a lot, but I still think I'd probably bench Bruno, just about. And start Enzo, João Pedro and Evan Nilsson. They've all got pretty good fixtures, but I think I'd say Bruno. Like, Enzo's data has been unreal recently. Awesome pick for 5 mil. Has anyone gone Enzo this week? Or did you already have him last week? Again, like with those upcoming games, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. He's a nice pick for the next 7 weeks. Mikey Man says, morning, you're really early on the deadline stream. Yeah, I'm going out for a Christmas lunch later, so I'm actually not around during the deadline, so I thought rather than not do a stream at all, we'll go live early this morning. So here we are. I'll probably finish in about an hour and a half, so we'll go till like 11 o'clock. And then everyone else will be doing their usual deadline streams, so you can hop over to Ross or Harry. Ian says, bench 1 out of Bruno, Wood or Enzo. Yeah, I'd say Bruno. I think I'd say Bruno. Yeah, I think you've got to start Wood, and you have to start Enzo home to Brentford, given how bad they've been in away games. Like, at Brentford are on 23 points, 22 of those have come in home games. They have had some really tough away games, in fairness, and some better home games, but his data's been really good as well recently, Enzo, so I'd start him. For me, it's Wood or Semenyo. Do you think I've got this one right? Who would you start, Wood or Semenyo? If you had to pick one to start, Wood/Semenyo. I can't bench Bowen after last game, can I? Raptor says sell Greaves and bench boost. You know what? It's actually a bench boostable, isn't it? But it'd be a -4, and I've got nothing in the bank. It is bench boostable. I might end up using it in a single game week still. Not sure yet. Like, if I can get through the blank game week using free transfers, then I'm still going to have more chips than double game weeks. Because I'm tempted to use the assistant manager in that Liverpool double game week, which looks like it's going to be in game week 24. I mean, what's everyone's plan here? Have you guys still got your triple captain, or are you looking to use the assistant manager? Or have you still got your triple captain and you're looking to use the assistant manager chip anyway? I'm considering using it here. And then if we go to this, and we've got the games that follow that. So if I use it on slot here, and then game week 25, Liverpool are home to Wolves, so I could keep it again there. I wouldn't want to use it, I wouldn't want to have slot for game week 26 though. So I could sell slot there. I mean, you could use it on Dyche, to be honest. Like, they'll be playing 3 teams that are going to be at least 5 places above them, you'd expect. Maybe not Palace. Maybe not United, but we'll see. So one way you could do it is you use it in the double game week and then switch straight to another manager. So you could start with slot here. This might be what I do. I start with slot there, and then I switch to maybe Arsenal because they've got Leicester and West Ham, or you go for a team that could be lower down the Premier League table and at least 5 places behind some of their opponents. So for example, Newcastle, they'd have City and Forest, who are probably going to be 5 places above them, might not be. You could go Southampton, they've got 2 home games. You could go for Spurs if they've not turned it around by them. What does everyone think of the assistant manager chip? Does anyone not know how it works? And let me catch up on the super chats as well. Viral mini clips, thanks for your super chat. Cameron Ross says, don't captain Salah at your own peril. I mean, I think it's 50-50 this week, genuinely. Like, Palmer home to Brentford. We're talking about how bad Brentford have been in away games, but Salah's, you know, it's just a level above everyone this season, right? And as we said earlier, Fulham have got no Anderson, they've got no Bassi, so it'd be Diop definitely, and I'm not sure who the other centre back will be. Maybe Cuenca. Can you explain what differential is? Differential is basically just a low end player. People generally say it's under 10% owned. Lower owned players have more upside, but obviously points are actually what matter. So if you owned a player who's 5% owned and they match someone who's 50% owned, it's actually the same thing. But the theory is, if that 50% player that lots of people own blanks and your 5% delivers, then that's huge upside rank-wise, if that makes sense. Kandari says, Bruno, Raul, or Jackson and Semenyo, is Raul on penalties? I think it's Andreas, is it not? Can anyone confirm that in chat? Is Raul on penalties, or is it Andreas? Right, I'm actually not sure. I mean, Andreas hasn't been starting every game recently either, so it might be Raul. Bruno, Raul, or Jackson Semenyo? I like Jackson Semenyo more. Pretty close, that one, but I like Jackson Semenyo more as a combination. OPA, thanks for the super chat as well. £20 super chat from Steve Wynyard. I think that's the biggest super chat I've ever had. Thanks very much, Steve. He says, couldn't you use the assistant manager chip the week before a double as it lasts 3 weeks, and then another chip on the double itself, maybe even free hitters, allow you to free hit in any manager just for the week? No, you couldn't, because it works like the other chips. You can only use 1 chip at a time, Steve. So basically, for the 3 weeks you've got the assistant manager active, you cannot activate any other chip. So yeah, you're locked out of using any chips for a 3-week period. And the mystery chip's not available till Gameweek 24, so you actually couldn't use it in 23, for example. 24, coincidentally, is when the double game is expected to be. Apparently it's been penciled in for that date, and they're just kind of getting sign-off from UEFA, I think I read. So, yeah, you couldn't. But I'm thinking I might use it in 24 because I've triple captained already. But we'll see. I might change my mind by then. If anyone doesn't know actually how the assistant manager chip works, I'll quickly run through it. So we get it from Gameweek 24. It lasts for 3 game weeks. And you basically pick a manager from a team. So you could pick Slot. It's actually a team chip. It's not about the manager. So like if you go Slot and he gets a red card, or I don't know, if you go O'Neill and he gets sacked, it's irrelevant. It's the team actually. And while it's active, you get 6 points for a win, 3 points for a draw for that team. But if the opponent's ranked 5 places higher, then you get an extra 10 points for a win. So 16 points for a win if the opponent is 5 places or more above them in the Premier League. And an extra 5 points for a draw, so 8. You also get 1 bonus point for every goal and 2 for a clean sheet. The manager does count towards the 3 players per team limit. So like if I do use it in 24 for that double, I might have Salah, Trent, but I can't have someone else like Van Dijk or whoever. The third would have to be Slot. You can transfer managers though, so you could use it on the double on Slot or Dyche and then transfer them out. The managers cost between 0.5 and 1.5 mil from your budget, so that's going to take some planning as well, to be fair. And yeah, as I was saying to Steve, you can't activate other chips at the same time. So what do we think about the chip? It's got a lot of potential. Like that run that Crystal Palace went on last season, Glasner would have got you, I think it was 67 points. Mr. F, thanks for the super chat. He says, welcome back for another deadline stream. He says, my big headache this week is captaincy. He's 23k and can't decide between Palmer and Salah. I don't have any other Chelsea or Liverpool players. If I had double Chelsea or Liverpool, I'd captain the other player. It's a genuine coin toss. Like, you can make the case of both players. Brentford home is the slightly better fixture. Fulham are actually second best for expected goals conceded in away games. Whereas Brentford have been shocking in away games. But then Fulham have got Bassey and Anderson both out. So that also goes in Salah's favour. I've gone for Palmer, Salah Vice, but it's a genuine coin toss. But nice rank, 23k is insane at this time of the season. Captain Poll, 48% Salah, 45% Palmer, 6% Saka and 1% other. We'll end that because someone said let's do a poll on the assistant manager chip. What do you think of the assistant manager chip? I like it. I don't like it. There we go. I mean, if you're having a great season already, maybe you wouldn't like it as much because, as we were saying, it's got the potential to completely change someone's season. Like I was saying, Glasner last season, I think it was double game week 34. If you'd activated it then, you would have got an extra 67 points for your team. So that's like going from 200k straight into the top 10k. Like, that's how powerful it can be if you get it perfectly. So it's a big change. Thanks again, Mr. F and Steve, for the super chats. Matt says, what if a manager gets sacked while they're assistant manager? It actually doesn't affect it at all, Matt. It's a team chip. It's a team-based chip. So yeah, if they get booked, if they get sacked, you actually just get whoever comes in. Or you don't even get who comes in. It's just a team chip, basically, but they've called it assistant manager. Desmond said it seems a bit complicated. It is quite complicated. I'd agree with that. Like, FPL's beauty is its simplicity. There's a deadline every week, you lock in your team and that's you done for the season. But this one takes some serious planning. But I think like the fact that you're watching this stream right now means you're a more engaged FPL manager. And this chip definitely favours engaged managers, so you could view that as a positive as well. You know, if you wrap your head around how the chip works. And I mean, people are going to be working out the optimal time to use it. I've already seen Fantasy Football Trout has been working out, you know, projected points per team, per game week and stuff like that. People are projecting how the table could look by game week 24. So it's yeah, people are going to try and optimize it, and I guess that will be helpful as well. Simon says, thoughts about Ødegaard. I've got him as my third Arsenal player, next to Raya and Saka. Keep or switch to double defence. Fixtures Gameweek 19 could favour attackers. I like the Ødegaard pick. He's super differential. Like, speaking of differentials, he's massive differential, and he's actually been quality in FPL over the years. So I'd say 100% keep him. It's way too luxury to sell him. I'd definitely keep Ødegaard if I had him. Like, Everton home, Palace away, Ipswich home. Like, he could outscore Saka over that run. His impact since coming back has been massive. Stevie Boy says, best 6 million or less midfielder. I can't get Enzo and you've got Rodgers. I would say... I was actually talking to my brother about exactly this last night, because he was looking for a midfielder under 6 million. I think it was to fund Isak in his case. And he was on triple Chelsea, so he can't have Enzo. And he actually had Rodgers. Is this my brother? Stevie? His name's not Stevie, so it's probably not. I said to him, Semenyo, I think is a good option. I know he's been poor recently, but like, he's got good fixtures. Or Iwobi, but Iwobi's not great to play this week, obviously, against Liverpool. But like, Iwobi's quietly having a really good season. And they've got some great fixtures like from next week. From next week, they've got Southampton home, Chelsea away not so much, but then Bournemouth home, Ipswich home. So like from game week 17, 3 home games in 4, Southampton, Bournemouth and Ipswich. So I actually quite like the Iwobi pick, but it depends if you need to play them this week. Otherwise, I'd just go Semenyo, Stevie. I've seen some people mention Ahmad, but I'm not sure he's going to be nailed, and it is City this week. Bobby says, morning Oscar, how are we? Need some help, mate. Bench one out of Cunha, Gordon, Rodgers, João Pedro and Jackson. Good luck, everyone. Have a cuppa on me. Got one right here. Appreciate it, Bobby. Cunha, Gordon, Rodgers, João Pedro, Jackson. I would say Rodgers away at Forest is probably the most obvious one there. Definitely not Cunha, Gordon, Jackson. So I'd narrow it down to Rodgers and João Pedro, and I'd say Rodgers away to Forest. Since they've been such a great defence this season, it'd have to be Rodgers. Sean says, why am I missing something? Why is this so early? I'm going out later, Sean, for a Christmas lunch with mates. So I thought rather than not stream at all, I'll go live early today. So we'll wrap up in like an hour or so. So a bit more of a chill deadline stream today. The calm before the storm. Hopefully a bit less chaotic this one. No last minute stress or drama before the deadline. So yeah, thank you all for being here. How many are tuned in right now? I haven't got the viewer count. How many are here? I wasn't sure if anyone would want to tune in for such an early stream, but yeah, let me know how many are actually watching right now. Chris says, hi Oscar, happy Saturday. Glad to have the day off today after working 70 hours this week. Start 3, bench 1. Gabriel Hall, Dunk and Aït-Nouri. I would start Gabriel Hall and Aït-Nouri and bench Dunk. 2,400. Damn. I think there's a gap in the market here for a super early deadline stream. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do like a 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. when we've got the early deadlines. But yeah, today it's a later deadline, so here we are. Thank you all for being here. If you're new around here, hit subscribe. Get your questions in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. So the poll on the assistant manager, 54% like it, 46% do not. So it's pretty split on the new chip, interestingly. What were the two transfers he made? I sold Vardiol for Colwell and I sold Cunha for Isak. Basically, that was it. Because City have got Ake out, Stones out, Akanji out, Lewis suspended. So Vardiol's only great when he's playing in left back and he can get forward. But last game week he was left centre back and it looks like that's going to be the same. I was actually listening to Pep's press conference live yesterday and he was saying, like the journalist was saying, what are you going to do with all these players out? What's your defence going to be? And he was saying, well, I might have to use a winger and fullback, or I might have to play a back three. So that would be, it'd be a Vardiol, Ruben Diaz and Walker back three, and then play wingers and wing back. So either way, it doesn't look great for Vardy. So I thought it's an opportunity to sell him. He'll probably go and score now, I've said all this, but it's an opportunity to sell him and get Isak in. 24k Will, 185 of calling Focal Smexy Geezer. Thanks Will. He says, I have Pope and 1 free transfer. Do I use it on him? If he's your only keeper, then yeah, use it. He's reportedly out for a month, Pope, which isn't great. Certainly not great if you've got him like Will, or if you've got Hull, who's quite a popular pick. But I mean, they're home to Leicester at the end of the day, so you still play Hull for that one. But yeah, he's out for apparently a month. We'll have to see. Focal, I thought you'd get Jackson over Isak. Yeah, it was tempting because Chelsea got really nice long-term fixtures. But Wilson's out for 2 months apparently, so we're looking at the fixtures just now, and like it's Leicester, Ipswich, so immediately better. And then they do have Villa, Man United, Spurs. I mean, that's not terrible. Like Man United haven't shored up the defence under Amorim yet. Spurs likewise have been leaky. You know, will Van der Ven and Romero be back then? Maybe. But then it's that run as well again here. Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham. So I'd like to keep him at least till Gameweek 24. In fact, that's when the expected double Gameweek will be for Liverpool and Everton. So yeah, I mean, it could go either way, that one. I mean, Jackson's on 4 yellow still as well, isn't he? We've got until Gameweek 19 for him to not get booked, and then it extends to 10 yellow cards for a suspension. Samiak says, hey Oscar, is it smart to have Gabriel and Timber? Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's even viable to have 3 Arsenal defenders, but I prefer Saka and 2 defenders. What's your rank? It's on the left-hand side, 150k at the moment. I'm hoping to keep the climb going. It was only about 4 or 5 weeks ago I was well outside 1 million, but I've finally hit a bit of a stride recently, so let's hope that can continue. What's everyone's rank right now? Ranks in the chat. Who's got the best rank? Honest rank. If anyone says they're top 100, I'll be fact-checking that on the leaderboard. $1.4 mil, 2 million, 120k, 1 mil, 8k. Bobby says let's not. Sorry, Bobby. 65k, 396k. Rank is poor. 45k. Still a long way to go, Immortal. Long, long way to go. And if your rank's not where you want it to be at this stage, then I think you welcome the assistant managership with open arms. Like I was saying earlier, that double game week for Palace at the end of last season would have got you 67 points. Now that's huge. 67 points, like, is season defining. In fact, let me just grab a screenshot of Live FPL, because they do a really nice table showing the points thresholds for various ranks. So check this out. And have a look at how many points you're on right now. And then have a look at this and just see where these ranked tiers are ahead of you and how far behind you are. I think you'll take encouragement from it. So I'm on 957, 153. So I'm just 10 points from top 100k right now. So check how many points you're on and the thresholds ahead of you. Like I was saying, if you'd got that, if the assistant manager existed last season and you got it perfectly, 67 points Palace would have gotten you. Now look, 67 points would take me well inside the top 5k. That's how powerful it is. So I think if you're having a difficult season so far, I'd be quite happy about the new chip. If you're already like, you know, top 10k, then I guess you'd be sweating a bit more, but it could take you even higher, right? Just because you're doing very well doesn't mean you can't do even better. Scuba Steve, thanks for the super chat. He says, Focal, our leader. Keep up the amazing work. Quick one, Fabianski or Flecken. He's got Jackson Enzo. He says, leaning towards Fabianski. Best of luck with your game week. Yeah, I'd concur with that. I'd say Fabianski. Let's have a look at the clean sheet odds. So, West Ham, 14%. and Brentford 10%. So it's a matter of 4%, but I think you've got it right there, Steve. I'll start Fabianski as well. Probably not going to get anything from either of them, let's be honest. But as far as the clean sheet odds, slightly in favour of playing Fabianski. Timothy says, like and subscribe, guys. Let's make this the most significant FPL channel. Where else can you get a Cole Palmer doppelganger giving us tips? Thanks very much, Tim. Appreciate that. Do I look like Palmer? I'm not sure. I do have a lot of time for Alex Volo's photoshops though. He's been doing some brilliant ones recently, actually, on announcing the new managers and their prices. Have you seen some of these? These are so funny. Let me pull these up. Emery Pricerville, 1 million. Thomas Frank. Sean Dyche. Is he face swapped him there? Surely. You also got Areola. Look at this one. So good. Postecoglou. That looks so much like him. What the hell? I remember seeing that. He was a steward at a game, wasn't he? He's got. I see the Arsenal crest there. I think that's not Postecoglou undercover. There's Arteta. Is there any more here? Where was the Palmer one though? Going back a bit now. Nothing like him. Nothing like him. Anyway, keep all your questions coming. Appreciate you all being here on this deadline stream. Bench boost. I wouldn't use the bench boost at this time of the season. It's too risky. Like, we've seen unexpected benchings and rotation, minutes managed. I just wouldn't risk it at this time of the season. I think this is probably the worst time to chance it because you're just leaving so much up to luck. That's already quite a lot up to luck. Who was that bikini pic? Did he have one there? Oh no. Gonna get demonetized off that. Don't know, you'll have to go on his profile to see who that was. Melinda says, I did Haaland to Isak and Semenyo to Palmer. I like that a lot. That's a nice pair of moves. I mean, both on paper are upgrades. Like, Isak has got potential to outscore Haaland the next few weeks. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how we're going to get back to Haaland, if at all, with this assistant managership. Because first of all, first of all, he's 15 million. But secondly, we need to free up an extra 0.5 to 1.5 mil for the assistant manager. So I just don't think I'll end up going back to him at any point this season. Maybe way later around doubles, but just don't think there's any room for him now. Ruben says Mazraoui to Van Dijk, Saliba or Timber. And he has Gabriel already. Thing is, Ruben, Van Dijk's great, and they've got that double in 24, but I like Trent even more. He's worth the extra 0.4 mil, 0.5 mil, whatever he is. So I think I would favour Timber and then look for another route to Trent later, personally. Ideally in game 18 when they're home to Leicester. Van Dijk's great though, but just Trent in my opinion is even better. More routes to points of him. Ordea says Trent is not worth it. I mean, is anyone looking at Trent, or has anyone got him already? Or is he too expensive to be worth it? I think if you're spending that much on Van Dijk, then why not spend the extra on Trent? Given he's the best defender for XGI this season. Tends to be every season, to be honest. Start Wood or Mbumo? Start Wood. Start Johnson or Semenyo? Johnson. Gareth has got Trent and Robertson. That's a throwback, the old Trent and Robertson double up. That served me so well over the years. I'm not sure if I'll go back to Robertson just because of the Simicast factor, and he's been benched a couple of times for Simicast, so I don't know if I'll have Robertson. I might not get third Liverpool, and then I'll use the assistant manager on Slot. I mean, it's just something that I never thought would come out of my mouth before this season. I might get Slot in for Gameweek 24, and then I might sell him for Glasner. Yeah, I think I'd say Timber, Ruben. And then see if you can get to Trent instead of Van Dijk. Mohit says, I have Colwell and Palmer. Should I get Jackson or Isak? I think Isak. I mean, I could have got Jackson and I bought Isak this week, so I'm biased towards Isak. He's just got such an unbelievable fixture this week. Has anyone got Isak FOMO that doesn't have Isak? Let us know in chat. Who's got Isak FOMO? Because they haven't exactly been a good defence. They've not improved under Van Nistelrooy in that respect. But also, they've got quite a few injuries in midfield. Winks is out. Soumare's out. So we might see a pivot of Chowdhury. Who would it be? Chowdhury and... who's the other one? Chowdhury and... I've forgotten his name now. Help me out. What's the other guy's name? Skip. That's it. Oliver Skip, right? It could be those two in the heart of midfield. I just think Newcastle probably batter them. So, Isak for me. And obviously Wilson's out for 2 months. So that takes you well into February, right? So it's quite some nice games over that run. Jackson is on 4 yellows as well. So I think weighing everything up, it nudges it towards Isak for me. But they're both great. They are both honestly great picks. Jackson could outscore Isak. That wouldn't surprise me either. Especially if we can avoid the 5th yellow or make it past Gameweek 19. Hittik says, hey Focal, I've got 1 free transfer from Mbumo to Gordon for 2 weeks to target the fixtures. Don't have Isak. And then downgrade Gordon to get Trent after the Tottenham fixture, as I have Aït-Nouri Hall with good fixtures for a couple of weeks. What do you think? Yeah, I actually like Gordon for the next couple. I think he was benched last game, wasn't he? So he's had his rest. He's been a bit unlucky to not have scored more points. Like, his data's not that dissimilar to last season, where he was unbelievable. I think he got like 11 goals, 18 assists or something, didn't he, last season? Yeah, and as you say, it's 2 unreal fixtures up next for Newcastle, so I like that. Maybe the only thing to check is whether Bowen for 3 weeks is worth it, so you're not making a move just for 2 weeks. But I think Gordon's really good. Nova says, hi Oscar, do you suggest selling Watkins? I think I would, yeah, if I had him. I'd sell him. I'd go for Isak or Jackson. And you can afford either of those, right? They're both cheaper than him. Actually, it's in the team news widget on the left. Watkins' availability to be decided after training, so he's not even guaranteed to play or to start. Right, let's end that poll. Captain Palmer or Haaland? I'd say Palmer. This is what FPL review projections say this week anyway. It's got Palmer top on 8.2, then it's Salah 7.3, then it's Isak, then it's Haaland, Son, Saka, Solanke, Jackson, Gordon and Trent. How many players do you guys have from this list? Has anyone got 5 or more? Rate these transfers wood and fast to Isak and Van Dijk. I mean, those are 2 massive upgrades, so great moves if you can afford that. Wham's got 4. 6. Ahmed's got 4. 4, 5. Yazan, how we doing? Yazan's got 6. So I'll have Palmer, Salah, Isak, Saka. Yeah, just 4 for me. In fact, on that note, let's have a look at the scout selection. Again, let us know how many players you've got from the scout selection team. This week, they've gone with Sells. They've got Van Dijk, Timber, Aït-Nouri, Salah, Palmer, Saka, Enzo, Isak, Solanke and Strand Larsen. How many have you got from the scout selection? Fraser says, thoughts on having Jackson and Isaac? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. They're two great picks, don't get me wrong. If I had to pick one, I was saying it'd be Isaac, but Jackson is definitely not a bad pick with such a nice run of games for the next 7 weeks. I think having both is solid. 2, 4, 5, 4 from the scout, 3. So for me it'll be Salah, Palmer, Saka, Strand Larson. Oh, and Isaac. 5 from the scout for me. Sean says, who have you transferred in? I've made 2 moves. I sold Vardy for Colwell, and I sold Cunha for Isaac. Dr. Yazan, hey Oscar, hope you're doing well. Just woke up. Morning, Dr. Yazan. I'm doing well, thank you, yeah. I'm going out for a Christmas meal this afternoon, so annoyingly I'm not around for the deadline, so I thought I'd do an early morning stream instead, rather than not stream at all today. So here we are. Yeah, there's like 20 of us going, so I didn't want to be that guy to say, I know we've all agreed this time, but can we actually do later? Because it's an FPL deadline, and I've got to stream the deadline, guys. I thought I'm not going to be that guy, so instead the compromise is streaming now, which I think is fine. And I know some of you subscribe to plenty of other FPL channels, so you can get the best of both now. You can watch their stream after this one. We'll wrap up in like an hour, so yeah, let's keep going. Sakiv says, bench 1 out of Timber, Enzo and Rogers. I'd bench Rogers, Sakiv. Peleg says, lineups for Bruggen, Gabriel, Hull, 8 Norwich, Salah, Palmer, Smith Rowe, Bowen, Haaland, Strand Larson and João Pedro. What do you think of the next move? Gabriel, Lewis, Smith Rowe and 8 Norrie out to Timber, Trent, Howson and Enzo from -8 or roll. From -8? Nah. If it was me, I would go Haaland to Isaac and Smith Rowe to Saka. Are you on triple Arsenal? You're not, are you? You've got Gabriel, Timber. I think you're on double, aren't you? I'll do that, Peleg. Haaland to Isaac, Smith Rowe to Saka. Unless you're on triple Arsenal and your bench, and it's, you know, got an Arsenal playing your bench or something like that. Wait, do you mean you're not streaming at the lunch table? I mean, I could. I don't think they'll like it. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd take a -8. Personally, I would just use your 2 free transfers and Isaac and Saka, and get rid of Haaland. Any news on Gabriel starting? We've not had much, to be honest. So this is what happened in the press conference. Arteta was asked about Gabriel and Calafiori, and he says, there's a possibility with one of them to be available. He trained today, we'll see tomorrow. And then the reporter asked, is that Gabriel who trained? And Arteta said, yeah. So that's all we've got. There's a possibility that he'll be available, and he trained yesterday. Arsenal did post 34 photos from training. I actually went through all 34, and Gabriel wasn't in a single one, so that's a bit worrying. But it's hard to read too much into Arteta and training photos and all that, because he seems to do mind games every week. Alright, Tim says Bruno to Enzo and Greaves to Trent for no hits. Or Bruno to Enzo, Vardy to Trent and Visser to Isaac from -4. And he'd be gambling on Gabriel to start with the second option. I actually like that -4, Tim. I do like it. I just think Isaac's got the potential to pay back that -4. And then some. Whereas this is away at Chelsea. I think I would do it. Like, loads of people were down to 10 or 9 last week and still got a green arrow. I think FPL General was down to 9 men and he got a green arrow to like 16k. Which goes to show what's possible. It's not the end of the world, but I think for a -4 that gets you nicely ahead of the curve again. Because you got Trent, you got Isaac. I think I would do that, Tim. Ross says, hi Oscar, would you swap Powell to Colwell for a -4 or wait till next week to change for free and release the free transfer and ease actually to FOMO? For a -4, nah, probably not. You're banking on Villa conceding and you're banking on Cole keeping a clean sheet just to break even on it. And in terms of clean sheet odds, 30%. Would you bet 4 points for a 30% chance of breaking even? You just wouldn't do it, would you? If you put it that way, 4 of your valuable FPL points for a 30% chance of breaking even. I mean, Villa are 27%. They're only 3% behind as well. So when you frame it that way, I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, that's all we know on Gabriel SpongeBob. Don't know if he'll start. Don't know. I think it's genuinely 50-50. Fortunately, the Arsenal have got the early kickoff technically, right? Because there's... Is it 4 games at 3 o'clock later? We've got Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, Fulham, Newcastle, Leicester, and Wolves, Ipswich. So, yeah, around the deadline later, just keep an eye out. There might be some early news. Is he with the team? Is he in the squad? You never know. So, yeah, don't make your moves yet. If you're counting on Gabriel news or something like that, or if he might be down to 10 men, just wait till a bit nearer the deadline. The deadline today is 1:30, so you've got time. Fordy says, hi Focal, Watkins to Isak or Jackson? I would go Isak, Fordy. I just think this fixture is too good if you can pick either. Home to Leicester. We were saying earlier, like they've got a few players out in midfield. Sumari's out, Ndidi's out. So it could be Chowdhury and Skip in the heart of the midfield. I don't know. It doesn't look good to me having those two. No disrespect, but I just think on paper Newcastle should win this one comfortably. Yeah, and as Uzal says, Jackson's on 4 yellows, so I'd save yourself that potential headache as well if you can pick between the two this week and go Isak. Tuna says concert to Colwell as Gabriel, Timber, Hall and Greaves. Yeah, I actually like that. I mean, again, wait till nearer the deadline. You know, just in case there's news on Gabriel. But if there's no news, I don't think it's a bad plan to make a move like that for your bench. You know, a lot of people are looking at like Greaves to Colwell, that sort of thing. Pinnock was mentioned earlier a few times. So I don't think it's a bad thing to like give yourself that nice depth this week, just in case Gabriel misses out. I wouldn't start him over Gabriel, Timber or Hull, but I think he's nice to bring in, given the fixtures for like the next 7 straight game weeks. It's nice depth to see through this busy period. Halfway through December now, it's still another 4 game weeks to go before the new year. Speaking of the new year, what's everyone's current rank and what's your end of season goal? Current rank and end of season goal. Where's everyone at and where do you want to be? Monk says Wood, Cunha and João Pedro. Who to sell for Isak? Long term, he wants Wood. Can't sell Cunha before Ipswich. And João Pedro is really good value. Would you just roll? Out of those 3, I actually think I'd sell João Pedro, which I think is going to be a controversial one. I'm not a huge fan of João Pedro. I feel like I just won't be surprised if he's benched at some point in the next 3 or 4. I know a lot of you won't like to hear that because you've got him, but like his expected minutes are low. He's not nailed completely in the busy period like this, but he is great value. Yeah, I'd keep Wood as well. I actually sold Cunha for Isak myself, but that was the only way I could afford Isak. Out of those 3, depends what you can use the money for as well, because Cunha's like, what, 1.1 million more than João Pedro. If I had to pick one of those 3, I'd actually sell João Pedro, Monks. 1.3 million looking for 250k. Fizzy is 35k, wants to finish at least top 10k. Yazan's going top 10k as well, he's 245k. 920k, the goal is sub 50. These are all very achievable. At least you're being realistic, guys. No one's saying like, I'm 1 mil and I want to win the whole thing. 1.3 mil, goal is 200k. You can do even better than that, to be honest. If you're 1.3 million now, you can come top 50k quite easily. But make sure you subscribe for FPL content, all remaining for all the rest of the season to help you get there. Pinners React says 2 free transfers. I want to get rid of Lewis. Who would you say? Depends how much money you've got, because obviously the likes of the Arsenal defence is probably the best value right now, or Trent obviously for way more. Jago says he's 1.9 million. The goal is to be mentally stable. Modest says congrats on the award, bro. Thanks very much. I've actually still got it here. Best in fantasy football creators, FPL Focal. Award-winning FPL content. 355k, what's realistic? You can still come top 10k from there. 100% doable. I mean, you could be like 1 million at the halfway mark and come top 10k. You need a lot to go your way, but it's absolutely achievable. It is doable. Not going to be easy. And obviously, going back to the mystery chip, like this chip is going to add a lot of variance. As I was saying earlier, if you were to use it on Crystal Palace last season, when they had that double game week, it was, I think it's 67 points that would have netted you. Obviously, that's like the perfect usage. But let me pull it up. It was this run here. Game week 34 to 36 last season. They beat West Ham 5-2. They beat Newcastle 2-0, drew with Fulham and beat Man United. West Ham, Newcastle and Man United were all 5 places above them. Plus, they scored 7, 8, 12 goals. So that's 12 points for goals. 2 clean sheets, that's an extra 4 points. So if my maths is right, I think it was 67 points you would have got if you'd used it on Glasner for that run. Obviously that's like the perfect outcome, but 67 points is massive. Going back to this graphic, 67 points. If I was to get 67 points right now, I'd go from 150k to inside the top 5k. So that kind of underlines its potential. So yeah, this new assistant manager chip's added extra variance, which I would be encouraged by if you're not where you want to be right now. But yeah, I think it could cause a lot of frustration as well, like if you use it and it doesn't go well. I think I might use it on Liverpool in that double game week. That's expected to drop into game week 24. This is not confirmed, but I've made a graphic of how the double is expected to look. Apparently they're just waiting on UEFA's sign off. I'm guessing it's a Champions League week, so that's why. And it'll be a double game week of Leicester home, Liverpool home for Everton. So I mean, I might end up getting like Mikalenko or something like that. I don't know if I'll get Calvert-Lewin after how he's played this season, but there's options there. And the Liverpool's double would be Bournemouth away, Everton away. So a lot of potential there. I have triple captained already, so that's why I'm considering the assistant manager there on the slot. And then I might change manager after that. Made another graphic here of a few different ways to go after the double. So yeah, it's too early to say. I mean, obviously don't know how the table's going to look, but there's a few ways you could go, because you can transfer managers. That's the other thing. Pinners, who would you sell Lewis for? Yeah, so outside of the premiums, I'd say Colwell I like the most. Hall's pretty good, but Pope's out and it's just 2 good games, whereas Colwell's got like 7 good games. I'd look at those 2, Hall and Colwell, unless you can afford Timber, Saliba, Trent. Mikel, 33 months, he says, why do most go Palmer over Salah captain? I don't think most are. If I was to guess their effective ownership, I mean, let us know in chat. What do you think Salah and Palmer's effective ownership would be? I reckon Salah will be like 150%. Palmer will be like 130. It's a big ballpark, but something like that I would say. So they're actually going to be close, I think. Brentford, I mean, their away record's been really poor. 22 of their 23 points have come in home games. They have had easier games at home as well, admittedly. But Fulham have been second best for expected goals conceded in away games, which is quite surprising. But they do have Bassey and Anderson out, so it's a genuine coin toss, I would say. I mean, if we look at the goal scorer probabilities, graphic from Rob TFPL here, again, you can see it's pretty close, but the bookies are slightly favouring Palmer, so maybe that's partly why as well, Mikel. Projected goals for Palmer is 0.77, Salah 0.68. And Palmer is 5% likelier to get one or more goals. It's super close. Vikas says, I've got 2 free transfers. Should I do Mbeumo to Gordon? Says, I don't want Enzo or just roll. If I roll, I have to play 2 of Rodgers, Mbeumo, Wood and Colwill. I think you can afford to roll. Why not roll and play Wood and Colwill? I mean, Gordon's the upside chasing move, but I don't think you need to rush to make that move when you've got Wood and Colwill. I would just play those 2. It is a really nice game for Gordon, but it's a bit of a luxury transfer when you've already got such a solid team already and players you can play, even if you don't use them. Viraj, thanks for the super chats. Samuel says, congrats on the award. First time tuning in. His question is, bench Bowen or Enzo? Bournemouth at home and Brentford a week away. I would start Bowen. I think it'd be less of a conversation if he delivered on the numbers he put up a couple of weeks ago. 1.62 XGI he had against Leicester. He was unbelievably unlucky to blank that one. I watched the whole game and I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then a goal and assist against Wolves last week. Scored a brilliant solo goal. I'd start Bowen. I know Enzo's been doing well recently himself, but I'd say Bowen. Pat says, who to bench? Semenyo, João Pedro or Enzo? Again, I don't think you guys are going to like the answer, but I wouldn't bench Semenyo. I really don't want to be benching him this week, but it was Wood, Bowen or Semenyo for me. So I've got a different set of players there to pick between. I'd be tempted to take a chance on João Pedro's minutes being bad. Again. I think I'd bench Enzo out of those 3. Just about. Start Semenyo or Enzo? Honestly, I think I'd start Semenyo over Enzo. He has been a bit unlucky. Where do you get your background music from? Most of it is from Harris Heller, copyright free. This song's actually my cousin. Wilding, Box and Meet Canvas is the song. Will Gabriel play? It's unclear. Arteta said he trained yesterday, so he has a chance. That's all we know right now. You might hear more nearer the deadline later. I'm going to be alive till about 11 o'clock, so I'll wrap up then, and then obviously some other channels will be live all the way till the deadline. I'm heading out this afternoon, so I can't stream the actual deadline this week. So it's an earlier stream today. So I'm here for the next 40 minutes. So keep your questions coming. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far and the content I prepare for it. If you are, then hit subscribe and drop it a like. Sanyam says, Lewis to Hall, Bruno Greaves to Enzo Trent for free. For free? Yeah, I would do that. Have you got Colwill already? I like him slightly more than Hall, personally. But that's a really nice set of 3 moves. Really nice. Yeah, I would do that for free. Is this your final team? Yeah, I'm locked in. This is it. No more changes. I mean, if there's like elite Gabriel's bench, then I'll start Van Heck. You'd imagine he probably starts or not in the squad at all, right? So if there's no news, I'll just start Gabriel. FPL Harry in the chat. FPL local. Support your local focal. We're just talking about you, Harry. I was saying as soon as I wrap up, we'll head over to your stream. I'll be live till about 11. Are you streaming at 11:30, Harry? 11:30 to 1:30, right? 2 hour. Oblivious says, love the streams, Focal. I have Gabriel, Timber, Trent Collins and a 4 mil. I'm worried about Gabriel's benching. He's got one free transfer and 4.6 mil. Collins out or hold. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Because, like, if Gabriel plays, that's such a quality back three. If there's no news at all, I would be tempted to go Collins to Colwell, because Brentford's defence is just shocking. There's just no clean sheets there, really. The fixtures aren't great, whereas Colwell's great for the next 7 straight game weeks. So, if there's no news, I'd be tempted to make that switch. So the deadline's not till 11:30, and Arsenal do have the early kickoff technically. Not really early in terms of time, but the first kickoff of the game week. So we might hear something later. So just keep an eye on Oblivious first. If there's no news, or if he's not spotted with the squad, something like that, I think I would do it and have him first on your bench, or second if you've got a better midfielder. If you see what I'm saying. Start Vardy or Enzo? I'd start Enzo. Going live at 11:30, Harry. Harry, while you're here, what are your thoughts on Enzo as a Chelsea fan? He's been a hot topic this week and in this stream. Like 5 mil, I think he's got 3 goals, 3 assists in his last 5. He's actually on the same goal contributions as last season. And it's what, Game Week 16? I think he's a nice pick for the next... I mean, he's played like 90 minutes, 4 games in a row as well, so I think he's alright as a pick. Semenyo or Rogers? Semenyo. Hey Oscar, deadline's 1:30 PM. Oh no, yeah, I'm out later during the deadline, John, so it's an earlier stream today. Focal Harry Goats. Appreciate that, Si. 4.4 and below defender. I mean, for 4.4, there's not many options, but I think Howson is the one that comes to mind. I think Hall's 4.5 mil now, isn't he? Senesi is out for 3 to 4 months. So Howson's the first one that comes to mind. I think I'm saying his name right. If you look on the Bournemouth, it's not spelt like how I'm saying it, but he's 4.3 mil, I think. And they've got West Ham home this week. They've got Palace home in a couple of weeks. Everton home after that. It's not, the fixtures aren't too bad. The defensive numbers have actually been pretty solid. Elliot says start Aït-Nouri, Rogers or Mitoma. Thanks. Aït-Nouri, Rogers or Mitoma. I would say Mitoma. If I was ranking them, Mitoma, Aït-Nouri and Rogers in that order. Chase the upside with the attacker. Just, Wolves kind of always look like conceding. And if that happens, you're just counting on Aït-Nouri getting an attack in return. Whereas Mitoma, you can get goals, assists. I would rather Mitoma if I was picking between those. Howard Bellis or Vardy, or which to bench? Bench Howard Bellis, 100%. Who was your triple captain? I used it on Haaland, which didn't go great actually, but I've been a bit bailed out by this the assistant managership, which I'll probably use in Game Week 24. What's everyone's plan for that double? It seems likely that it's going to drop into 24. Are you guys triple captain in 24, or assistant manager, or something else, or no chip? So yeah, my plan at the moment could change, to be honest, is assistant manager on slot and just captain Salah. But there are trade-offs, like if you use the assistant manager there, you can't have 3 Liverpool players. Like, is it better to have triple Liverpool and use it on Dyche? You see what I'm saying? Who do you guys reckon the most transferred in player is this week? Most transferred in? I'm trying to think who it would be. Don't know if it would be Palmer, even though you hauled last week, because he's so highly owned already. Would it be Isaac? Who else did well last week? Not Bo. It wouldn't be Bowen, would it? Everyone says Isaac. Let's have a look. Latest numbers are 551,000 transfers in for Isaac. Saliba, 436k. Enzo's in third. Palmer, fourth. Salah. Saka, Wood, Timber. I saw Wood went up last night. Couldn't believe that. Come on, Wood. Timber, Jackson, Vardy. Vardy before Newcastle away. Cunha. Trent, João Pedro, Raya. Let's have a look at most transferred out. Watkins, 445,000 managers have sold him. Then Haaland. Lewis, Gabriel, Vardy, Smith Rowe, and Boomer, Welbeck. Pretty unsurprising list all in all. Gabriel, a bit surprising, but I suppose he's missed a couple of games now, hasn't he? Bench Bruno Fernandes or Rodgers? I'd bench Rodgers. Wood went up last night. Wood did go up last night. Hang on. I'm benching Salah. Wish me luck. Why are you benching Salah? Did you lose a bet or something? Why would you bench Salah? The top scoring player in the game, home to Fulham. Morning Focal from British. How we doing, British? Ben says, Ayo, pause. Let's all... Hang on. I'm going to have to pause the music as well. Why are you benching Salah? Why? Is that a wind-up? Haaland under 15 million. Still not tempted at all. Isn't he like 14.9? Or 14.8? Still not tempted at all. Going to need that extra money as well now for my assistant manager. Whoever I go for. Maybe Slot. Benching Salah, trying to be clever. Did he say why? It's got to be a wind-up. Where was it? I've lost it now. There's literally no reason you can justify benching Salah. Is it rage bait? It might be. I might have taken the bait there. We got a catch. Hoping for the Joe Gomez header today. I think he's not scored in the league before. It'd be a great week for him to get his first goal if you've got him. Gut feeling, trust. Your gut feeling says bench Salah. He's averaging 10.8 points per game. Fair play. Poor Oscar doesn't understand what AO pause means. Doesn't it mean like... Okay, never mind. I won't focus on that. Semenyo or Rodgers? Semenyo. Gomez never has a career goal. Oh, in all competitions? I didn't realise it was also other comps. He's never scored ever. Damn. He's come close a few times. That's when you're saying something's down bad. Sell Ahmad Forenzo with one free transfer. Pretty luxury move. Probably wouldn't do it. Probably not. Probably wouldn't spend a free transfer on that. I mean, that one free transfer could come in handy. Ahmad's not a bad pick either. I do think Enzo's a bit better, but with a free transfer, it's pretty luxury. Wood went up. Ayo, pause. Andrew says, Jackson, João Pedro, Cunha to Isaac. I want Trent in mind. Well, if selling Cunha gives you the money for Trent, then I'd say Cunha out. But I'd rather sell João Pedro. But it depends if that gives you enough money. I like Cunha slightly more for the next couple of game weeks. Maybe the next 3. Quite close. Like João Pedro's minutes, expected minutes, are worse. in my view. Like, he could average 70 points over the next 3. Maybe not even that if he doesn't start all 3. My route to Trent might be Bowen down to a cheaper mid like Iwobi or Rogers, and then I can go Porro to Trent. Wood jokes are boring. Hey, in my defence, I didn't mean to say Wood went up last night on purpose as a joke. I was just saying he went up in price. FPL Rory says, hey Focal, how we doing, Rory? Welcome to the stream. Dean Edgar says, bench 1 out of Nori, Hall and Semenyo. I think I'd bench Nori. Let's just check the clean sheet odds on that. We're in Newcastle. 38%, Wolves 33. Yeah. I actually think I'd bench 8 Nori. I wouldn't bench Semenyo. Quite close to that. They're all decent picks this week, but I'd bench Nori. Predictions will come later. Yeah, we can do those in about half an hour. Towards the end of the stream. We'll stay live for like another half an hour and then I'll have to shoot off. If anyone's joining late, welcome first of all. I'm going out this afternoon for a Christmas meal, so I thought let's go live this morning instead for an early one, rather than not streaming at all. Your FPL experts videos are the best thing in an already over-flooded FPL content world. Keep up. Thanks very much, Mashikos. Those of you that watch all my videos, do you have a favourite series? Which one do you like the most? Normally every week it's players to buy, team selection, the experts, and then like final thoughts. Those are kind of the staple 4. Morning Andre, how we doing? Do you pay any attention to predicted lineups? Yeah, I keep an eye on it. A good account to follow on Twitter or Blue Sky is Jump the Wave. She gets fan input every week on predicted lineups and then kind of like puts it all together for the percentage, or the percentage of fans that predicted those players to start. So it can be quite useful to get the fan insight. Experts is the best. The Twat series is top draw. Experts, in my opinion, you like them all. Experts is the best. Love them all, Oscar. I like the Twat series. Didn't really realise somebody liked the Twat series. If anyone doesn't know what that is, on the FPL.page, my website, it's in the App Store as well actually. Search FPL Focal in the App Store. There's a widget on here called the worst active team. You can't quite see it there. You see bottom right here. And it shows you the worst scoring team in the top 10k. So last week's was this one. 23 points they got. 23 points. Who did they have? They just had Wood that returned, I think. The captain Salah and Saka Vice. Oh, they had Porro's assist as well, but he only got 3 points. 23 points. Yeah, if anyone wants to get the app, actually, search FPL Focal in the App Store. It's completely free. You can check your rank, it's fixture ticker tool, statistics, injuries. You can view the FPL teams of footballers that play FPL. So yeah, FPL Focal in the App Store. There's a link in the description as well, actually, if you want to get it that way. I used to call Focal the faceless man. Yeah, I mean, I don't appear in any of my videos. Very, very rarely anyway. Like if I'm doing a video with another manager, then I'll appear in it. Otherwise, yeah, not in my videos. Experts videos and what we learned. Oh yeah, sorry, I do the transfer plans ones as well. What we learned from the game week. So yeah, I'll do one of those tomorrow actually. I'll do one tomorrow like with my transfer plans and what we've learned from all this weekend's games. Harry says the FPL Local app is epic. Yeah, don't search FPL Local in the App Store. You'll find something else. You might find local FPL managers, but you won't find the Focal app. 40 says Gabriel to Van Dijk from -4 for Digne to Timber next week. Is that what you're asking? I wouldn't sell Gabriel for a hit. Definitely not. I know he's like 50-50, but I wouldn't sell him for a hit. I'm not sure. Meet local FPL managers in your area. Yo, imagine. How has no one not made an app for that? No, I wouldn't sell Gabriel for a hit, 40. Not for me. FPL managers in your area. Oh man. Someone needs to make that. FPL Tinder. You could put your rank history or your current rank in your bio. Looking for a single girl in my area. I'm currently 7.5k overall. I've got Saka, Palmer and Salah. And I've got 2 top 10ks. Welcome back to another dodgy ad. Oh man. If I was Harry, I'd put my rank history on my Tinder bio. Although he's not single, he's engaged, so doesn't matter for him. And I've got Wood. Swipe left on Arteta. Oh dear. Palmer captain. Yeah, I've gone Palmer. It is proper coin toss this week, in my opinion. Manage me, daddy. What? Yo, what? Ayo, pause. Yeah, I'm on Palmer captain, Salah vice. I think it's genuinely a coin toss this week. You can make a really strong case for either, so if you can't decide yourself, flip a coin, hope for the best. Wood captain. Are you actually British? Oscar's captain himself. Oh no, I'm not reading the me jokes. I didn't know where that sentence was going, and Harry's baiting me in with a me joke. I'm not doing me jokes. Not on my deadline stream. He needs to retire ASAP, just for the sake of Harry's Ben me jokes. I love the app. Thanks very much, Espo. Appreciate it. Yeah, what's crazy is it's something like 50,000 people have installed it already, which is mental when you think about it. Like, that many phones have got the app. I never expected it to be like such a success. And there's more to come as well. Which transfers did you make? I sold Vardiol for Colwill, and then I sold Cunha for Isak. Two free transfers I used. That's not the me joke, you just look like Palmer. Okay, I didn't even read the rest of it. I saw Ben Me and I dipped from Harry's comment. I dipped. As soon as I see me, I'm out. Can you discuss the Cunha to Isak transfer, please? Yeah, obviously, like, Cunha's got a nice fixture this week as well. So that could hurt me, but Isak is undeniably better. And I just wanted to get rid of Vardiol as well, because City have got Ake, Stones and Akanji out. And Vardiol's only good when they've actually got centre-backs. Not just because they're better defensively, but he plays a left-back where he actually gets forward. And last match, he was like left centre-back with like no upside, basically. So, in isolation, this week, Colwill and Vardiol are pretty similar, I'd say, if Vardiol's playing centre-back. But Isak's definitely an upgrade in Cunha. There's no two ways about that. And obviously, Wilson's out for 2 months as well, so it's a pretty nice long-term run of fixtures. Starting with Leicester home this week. Leicester have got no Samare, no Ndidi. So it might be, probably be Chowdhury and no Winks as well. So it might be Chowdhury and Skip in the midfield pivot for Leicester. I don't know. I just fancy Leicester to put a few past them. And I think Isak's a really nice long-term pick. And if I find this other graphic here from Rob T FPL, he's actually got the projected goals by fixture this week. And I'll put that on screen as well. Well, it could be a proper goal fest this week. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams projected 2 or more goals. Newcastle 2.6 is actually the second most after Chelsea as well. So let's see what happens. But the bookies fancy a goal fest this game week. So yeah, I don't know. I weighed everything up and I just thought I'll do that. And then I'll get Trent later. I had a choice between Trent or Isak. Nixie says, bro, stop making the Isak FOMO worse. Sorry to everyone that doesn't have Isak for everything I've just said there, but that was why I did it. I had to answer the question. Rosa says, I'm doing Vissa to Isak, but I need to do Bruno to a 6.1 or lower player. Thoughts on Kulu Mitoma? Or should I just go Enzo? Depends what you can do with the extra money, right? Like Enzo's good if that lets you go from, another defender up to Trent. It's about the combinations. Because like Semenyo I still think is good, Mitoma's good, but if you go Enzo and you can afford something like Trent, then I'd go Enzo. It's all about the combinations really. Because Enzo's like, 1.5 million cheaper than Mitoma? That's a lot. You can do a lot with 1.5 mil. That buys you Arnie Slot with your assistant manager chip. Or maybe gets you up to a premium defender like Trent, or maybe you've got someone in goal you don't like Flecken, that gets you to Raya. You see what I'm saying? So I'd say Enzo, if it unlocks something more powerful for you. Khaled says, Mitoma, Bowen, João Pedro, Bruno, who to bench? I would say it's between João Pedro and Bruno. I'd be tempted to bench João Pedro, honestly. I think I'd bench João Pedro. Just because his minutes aren't great. Bruno, weirdly, Bruno did come off early last match. And Amorim said he was tired, but his minutes are generally very good. He's on free kicks, penalties. He's been playing the more advanced role again. And he's playing against City that are missing so many defenders that I actually think I'd start Bruno, It's not the red fixture that it says it is on the fixture difficulty ratings. I'll tell you that much. How's your FPL Cup going? I think I won last week. Let me check. Overall Cup. Is everyone through to the next round? This week I'm up against Red Army, Vikram. He's 3.4 million. That's his team. Oh god, he's got Haaland. This is the week where Haaland gets a hat-trick, isn't it? And knocks me out in like the round of 8 million in the overall cup. So, guesses in the chat. Who's going to be the top scorer, Gameweek 16? Well done to everyone that bravely, correctly guessed Palmer last week. Who's it going to be this week? Top scorer, Gameweek 16. Guesses in the chat. Nick says, Raya, Gabriel, Dunk, Van Dijk, Nori, Saka, Rogers, Enzo, Palmer, Salah, Vissa, João Pedro, Cunha. -4, Vissa to Isak. I'll do it next week. For -4. Probably not for a -4. I don't hate it though. Just looking at the rest of your team again. Gabriel, Dunk, Van Dijk, Nori. You've got a really nice team. I don't hate it for a -4. Like, I think there's potential for that to be repaid, but I probably wouldn't do it for a -4. No. Duran was my pick last week. He did start, to be fair, which was what I'd banked on, but just the one goal for him. And Mbumo, Gordon, Chris Wood, Haaland, Salah, Palmer, Bowen, Anthony, Isak, Palmer again. Clean sheet odds. Clean sheet odds are here. From 11 of 5. Salah. Could be a slightly swingy game week for captaincy this week. Who said Anthony? Someone's winding us up, I think. That can't have been a serious guess. So there's a clean sheet odds. Arsenal top 57%. And then it's Liverpool, Newcastle, City, Wolves, Bournemouth. Rock bottom is Leicester away at Newcastle. Man United 9%. Same with Fulham away at Liverpool. I'll do like another 15 minutes, so keep your questions coming. Hope you've enjoyed this slightly different deadline stream to usual. I'm heading out this afternoon, so that's why we're live now rather than the usual 2 hours before deadline. What's your take on the new manager chip? It's growing on me. It's a lot to wrap your head around. If anyone's not familiar exactly how it works, it's available from Gameweek 24, and you pick a manager from a Premier League team and you score points based on how the team does. It lasts for 3 straight game weeks, so while it's active you can't use other chips. While it's active you get 6 points for any wins that team, for any wins by that team, 3 points for a draw. But the big carrot they've dangled, right, is if you pick a team and they win against a team that's at least 5 places above them in the Premier League, you get an extra 10 points, an extra 10, and an extra 5 for a draw. So you could get 16 points for a win. So imagine they beat 3 teams 5 places above them, 3 game weeks in a row. That's, if we do the math, 48 points just for wins. And then you get a bonus point for every goal they score, 2 for a clean sheet. The managers do count towards the 3 player per team limit, but you can transfer managers. They'll cost between 0.5 and 1.5 mil. They haven't revealed the prices yet. No price changes on the managers. You cannot activate other chips at the same time. So I might use it in Game Week 24 on slot, which is where that double game week or that postponement's expected to drop. I could see some people taking a chance in Everton though. Jay says I don't like it, makes my head hurt. Let's stick a captain poll up. Final captain poll. Who is your captain for Game Week 16? So we'll go Salah, Palmer. I think we'll go Saka and other. If you go other, message in chat who your other is. There we go. Poll is up. David, thanks for the super chat. 2 free transfers, and I want to use 1 for Solanke to Isak. Thoughts? I would say long term, Isak is a decent enough upgrade on Solanke, but it's a bit sideways this week, isn't it? When Solanke's got Southampton. It's a bit sideways this week. I'm not sure if I'd do it this week. Why not do it next week when he's got Ipswich and Spurs have got Liverpool? To me, that feels like a move that could go either way. Like, Isak's got the slightly better fixture playing home to Leicester, but like Southampton is just the worst team in the league. No disrespect to Southampton fans, but like they are rock bottom. So I don't think I'll be selling Solanke this week. Roll to 3, David. Luke says I've got 3.2 million. Faster Trent or Cunha to Isak with 2 free transfers. Have you got Gabriel, Luke? It's something to consider, like if you might be light on defenders if he doesn't play. In that scenario, I'd go Trent. I think either way, I'd go Trent, to be honest with you. Like, Cunha to Isak's less of an upgrade of faster Trent. So I'd go faster Trent. Zelda, thanks for the 18 months, year and a half. Hope you're well, Oscar. He says, on my way for Arsenal versus Everton. Oh, enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. I hope Gabriel starts. We'll do, in about 10 minutes, we'll do scoreline predictions as well. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal for that one, but we'll do the predictions shortly. Timber or Big Verge? I'll say Timber, and then maybe aim for Trent instead. Bench Semenyo or João Pedro? I think I'd bench João Pedro. Pretty close that one though. This season I'm just trying to pick players that are good for expected minutes, because last season I've like messed around with players that are risky and it comes back to bite you at some point. And even this season it did. The one time I deviated from it this season was I went Luis Diaz when he was absolutely cooking, and then he ended up benched after I bought him. So I'm trying to play a bit differently this season and just pick the players that are good for expected minutes. Have you seen FPL Review does a season review tool? It's quite cool, this. On fplreview.com/season review. You chuck in your ID and it kind of rates you based on various factors. So like, for minutes, I'm 488th in the world. Or expected minutes 2,600. But down here I saw it. Where was it? Yeah, so for minutes, EV for minutes, I'm in the 96.8% percentile. So I mean, I don't know, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I don't fully understand everything that's on there, but it breaks down your team by various metrics and gives you like percentage rating. So I don't know, I saw that and I thought that's quite encouraging. It seems to be seems to point towards what my plan was this season anyway. Start Aït-Nouri or Kirkez? Aït-Nouri. Dennis or Pookie, who to start? Got to be Dennis, isn't it? Got a double game week. What can go wrong? Watkins to Isaac. Yeah, I'd do that. Start Enzo or Semenyo? Semenyo? Can you link that? Just go to fplreview.com. Maybe I can chuck the link in chat if I still got it here. There you go. Alright, tell you what, let's get on to the predictions now. Because I haven't got loads of time now. Does that fit? Let me take slow mode off as well. It's actually good that we're doing this before the deadline for once, so you guys can get a feeling for how you think the game it will go. Arsenal versus Everton, predictions in the chat. Slow mode is officially off, so you are free to go wild. Predictions in the chat. Arsenal v Everton. Zelda is en route to the game. What are we saying for this one? Three 0 2-0, 2-1, 2-0. 2-0 to Everton. Get out of here, Worm. I'm not having that as an Arsenal fan. 3-0. 2-0. Okay, people are saying 2-0. We'll go with that. Liverpool versus Fulham. Oh, some great games at 3 o'clock today. I'm going to have to get out this Christmas meal ASAP to get back for these games. I do have to get back anyway because I'm leaving Teddy on his own. What are we saying? Put which game you're predicting as well, so I know which one to log it against. Liverpool versus Fulham. What are we saying? 2-0, 2-all. 2-all, you reckon? That'd be a huge result for Arsenal. 3-0, 3-1. You reckon Liverpool Fulham score? Alright, we'll go with that. Newcastle versus Leicester. Is that 3 o'clock as well? Oh my god. The 3 o'clock games are stacked. Newcastle versus Leicester. What are we saying for this one? Newcastle v 3-0 for sure. Focal. 3-1. Slow mode is off, so you can go wild with the predictions. 3-0. 1-0. Alright. Is that another 3-0? No, we went 2-0, 3-1, 3-0. Wolves v Ipswich. Wolves v Ipswich. What are we saying for this one? Get back to the belter of a song, the intro song. We'll finish with the intro song. 2-all. Really? 2-1. A lot of people saying 2-1. We'll go with that. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest versus Villa. I'm starting Wood this week, so I'm hoping he does something for me. Wood brace. Oh, honestly, imagine. That's 5:30 that one, so I'll have one player to cheer on this evening. 2-1 Forest, 2-1 Villa. It's pretty divided, this one. 3-1 Villa. 1-all. Okay. Brighton versus Palace. Brighton v Palace. Get your guesses in the chat. Nil-nil? I reckon it'd be a board draw. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 to Brighton. Man City versus Man United. Huge game. Tomorrow afternoon, right? 4:30. Oh, there's a game at 7 o'clock tomorrow as well. I'm going to have to do my transfer plans really late tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do it during the games. 3-1. I have to think about the schedule. 2-all, 3-1, 3-2. You reckon lots of goals in this one? 3-2. Okay, we'll go 3-2. Chelsea versus Brentford. Big one for the Palmer captainers. Chelsea v Brentford. Get your guesses in. 2-all. (3-1). Alright, 3-1. Okay. Well, I hope it's not, because I've just brought Colwell. Southampton versus Spurs. Can Southampton get an upset playing home against the Spurs team with no Davies, No Romero, no Van der Ven. Maybe no Bissouma? I forget that. Can't remember if he's out as well. Or is he suspended? What are we saying this one? Saints win. 2-all. 3-1 to Spurs. Alright, 3-1. Last one. Bournemouth versus West Ham to finish the game week off. Bournemouth v West Ham. Last one. FPL 1. Bench one up. Ahmad, Van Heck and Murillo. I'd bench Murillo. Emil says bench one up. Bruno, Semenyo, João Pedro and Cunha. I'd bench João Pedro, I think, you know. Just bank on the really good minutes for the other three. And I actually think I'd bench João Pedro. 2-all. Alright. So that's that. Back to my team. My transfers this week were Vardy to Colwell and Cunha to Isak. Now I have to shoot off now because I'm going to be going to a Christmas lunch, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, it's going to be nice, but unfortunately I can't stream the actual deadline. So that's me done. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Good turnout today. Didn't expect that, to be honest, this early. So yeah, nothing else to say really. Good luck this game week. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll smash it, get green arrows, lots of goals. Hope you captain Halls. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this stream. And that's it from me. Focal out.